The most galvanising expression that we use internally is a brand is as a brand does. So the curious thing for me is that the more digital, and it's actually about digital contact really rather than digital marketing, but the more digital evolves and the more consumers play with it and it's part of their lives, by definition we have to respond to that. So, you know, can I say in budget terms digital is going to go up XX? Not necessarily, but it's just it has to then just get woven into the fabric of how we do our business. Most definitely, and actually in a sort of the B2B environment, the more we can give good content and good applications for our IFAs, for instance, obviously they're more likely to want to use us, links us more clearly with the end customer because there's clearly a bigger pull through then. No, so it's a perfect medium for that. Try not to raise your eyebrows in a meeting when someone goes, but how's that going to drive my sales? Because I feel over the years, it's probably a reflection of my age, but I must have heard that 150 times, and it is, so, well more, 1,050 times. And it is so dull, because if you believe in the power of brands intuitively, and then over the years you've absorbed all the data, you kind of, it's so dull to have to explain it. So you kind of have to, and you have to find the best economic way of explaining it. So if you do and you are able to value the brand, show that the linkages between how and why people get into the brand, and then demonstrate the role of recommendation and retention and everything else, it's a much more compelling way to go. So it's very frustrating to have to try and quantify everything, but on the basis that sales is a quantified thing, let's fight with the same armoury, as it were. I think the really encouraging thing actually across the whole market is it's much more customer focused rather than a product focus. I think two things have happened, that it's caught up with the market as a whole, and also I think the financial crisis has meant that everyone has to really think about that, and also probably increased regulation means there's a lot more focus on it anyway, being kind of well, there's a lot more focus on us to make sure that we do that as an industry. So I think the planets have all aligned, and I think it makes it much more exciting that. So what I want to achieve, what I think as a marketing leadership team at Aviva we want to achieve, is that we want to be our customers' most recommended brand. One of the global measures we have is Net Promoter Score, and you know the linkages between recommendation and customers staying with us longer. So ultimately it will be a really good thing. But I think as a whole everyone's beginning to really put the customer much more at the heart of their businesses. I think in the long term, yes. I'm certainly glad our customer base is about 53 million. 30 million of our customers are on long-term contracts, and that delivers 80% of our profit. So that's kind of a unique place to be. The fact is, people probably will always need to be insured, certainly, you know, in developing markets, but developed markets, and beyond that, people will need to save more and save more for their pensions generally. So we're definitely in a market for us, which we know is going to still be good, albeit people will be challenged, I think, over the coming years. I think the general feeling around the recovery is it's going to be anemic and it's going to be slow. The better we get at showing the contribution of the brand in relation to the specific business growth that we get from it, then obviously they're going to value it more. But you know, parts of the business where they already do value the brand is the RAC, is our direct personal lines business in insurance, and I think increasingly so in the life and annuity side. I think it is complicated in this business to do that, but I do think analysts are getting better and more attuned to it, and I think frankly we just have to help them get there. So I think the work we've been doing with Your Good Selves means it's a lot easier actually, and it's a really good robust methodology, so it's much easier for us to have those conversations, which indeed we did with a group of media analysts only last week.